So here's the current issue, is that literally just turning on the game is destroying 2 files somehow, some way, right? Somehow, some way, turning on 2 files will just fuck up game. Let me just turn off this video app because we don't need it right now. So yeah, we're gonna turn on the game. We're not gonna do anything. I don't know how on Super Earth I did not log off here. This is not why I logged off, but whatever. That's not the issue at this point. Who cares, right? But so here we are, right? We turn on the game. Let's walk around. But I'm not gonna change anything. I'm not even touch the guns. I'm not gonna change my loadout. I'm not gonna change anything on my profile. Now we're gonna quit. Right? We're gonna quit now. Okay. So now here's the issue: is that if I go to validate the files now, and we'll wait. We will sit here the entire time while it validates, so that you can see that I am doing the full validation, verifying the integrity. Now we'll sit here and we're gonna wait. We're gonna sit here. We're gonna wait. But essentially, what's happening is 2 specific files. I don't know which specific ones, unfortunately, but it is for sure 2 specific files become corrupted in somehow, some form, after literally launching the game and connecting to these servers on PC, at least through Steam, right? So in my current theory, these 2 files is due netcoding wise. Is probably some kind of netcoding file. Because it only does it when you turn on, because it does it literally as you turn on the game and you have to connect to the servers. Because the matches have been very, very poor lately in terms of connectivity, and like games are straight up crashing and stuff. That I think this is happening due to the netcoding issue, because recently the game has now Xbox players, so now you're connecting and netcoding through PS4, PC, and Xbox. So that's the issue. Now, again, we're gonna sit here. We're gonna wait. I'm waiting. Like, I'm gonna wait here and wait the entire time. But the thing is, I know for sure it's 2 specific files. Because it has been consistently 2 files. And it's not just me. I can confirm 3 other people, which I'll just pop on my friends. I'll pop over here, actually. Surf Angel, Daniel Foskio, and Zach Trip, who have similar rigs to me. Not exactly the same, but similar rigs. They've had the exact same issue. Exact same 2 files. Exact same file size. The only issue is that because of the way the verify integrity thing works, we cannot confirm that it is for sure 100% the exact 2 files and what those 2 files are and is called and what they interact with and stuff. All I can say and tell you is that it is 2 files that gets corrupted and completely screwy, which is not good. That's not good at all. But it happens. But it will once the integrity goes through, it'll say, oh, 2 files were unable to validate. We're gonna reacquire them. Once it reacquires them, it's gonna be really fast because only 2 files, and it's 6 kilobytes total in size together. Well, that's how I know, at the very least, that it is 2 files. It is most likely specifically 2 files. Like the exact same 2 files, because it is every single person on my friends list that I tested with, like I pointed out, which is 3 other people, and including myself, it has had the issue of 6.6 kilobytes in total in size. Now, my current theory is that those files have something to do with the netcode, and that's why it's getting corrupted. Because functionality-wise, like when the game is actually functioning mostly fine when it's not having netcoding issues, but there's been a lot more netcoding issues as of late from what I've seen people say online, like on Reddit, on Discord, whatnot, right? And a lot more in general, and people are crashing. So at the very least, at least one of those files has to do with netcoding, and the other file has probably to do with some kind of game stability or whatever. But that's partly why I'm submitting this, just so you know, like, hey, there's 2 files. Okay, it's gonna finish soon here. Yep, there it is. 2 files failed to validate, will be required. So that's weird, right? So now we go in here. 6 kilobytes. Exactly what I said. Exactly what I said. Now, here's the thing. I also know that the files are for sure downloaded. Because when I go to verify again, you'll see it'll just go through, nothing happens. And we'll sit here and we'll wait for it. You might hear me yap a bit, but I'm just going to be saying the same exact thing. It's 2 files, exact same size, 6 kilobytes every time. Those 2 files together make 6 kilobytes. Always, every time, 2 files, 6 kilobytes. Literally launch a game, and it fucks it up. So one of them has to be a netcoding file, because all you literally just connect to the server, game servers, and the file gets corrupted, which is not great. It's not very. We don't like that, right? And I didn't even, and that's why I think, honestly, I think both of them has a netcoding file, but it could not be. Who knows? Because I know the game engine is out of service, right? We're using a game engine that's not out of service, so we have no idea what the coding is and whatnot, right? So there could be some really weird spaghetti coding stuff going on, or whatever, right? All I know is for sure, 2 file is that literally connecting to the game servers will corrupt 2 files that together are 6 kilobytes in size. What, again, unfortunately, because I do not have back-end systems, knowledge, programs to see, I cannot know or see for sure which 2 files are being corrupted and give you the exact 2 files that is necessary for you to fix it, unfortunately. But there is video proof that 2 files are indeed being corrupted every time you launch the game. You just straight up, you launch the game, your file gets 2 files get corrupted, and it makes absolutely no sense. Not to mention, there's also a slew of other things that have been happening lately. A few days ago, playing with my friends, 3 of them had to hard reset their computer after playing for a while, and I was host. I didn't have to hard reset, but each of my friends had to hard reset at different points during our play session while I was host the entire time. That makes no sense. How, like, the game completely locks up to the point where it locks up the PC too. That's weird. That's really weird. And I was trying to replicate that today, but I wasn't able to, because instead what happened, because I went to bots for like one of the last ops, and last mission of that op, which would be the 3rd mission, it just started freezing, like hard freezing. And I have stream evidence of that one, because my friend was streaming at the time for that. But if you want that, I can link that too. But that's a whole separate issue. You can't tell, I'm just yapping so that it's not boring, but I'll probably try to put timestamps in this recording, because it's gonna be a long recording. Because I don't want to bother editing it out because I'm lazy. But I will put timestamps in so it's not a fucking long ass videos. I'll put it like in the description. Because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna launch the game again, just so you can see that it is just straight up launching the game. Okay, all files successfully validated. Nothing wrong. You see that? That's what it says right there. Now, we're gonna launch the game. We're gonna launch the game. We're gonna connect to the game. My friend partly thinks it might be the anti-cheat. That's screwing with it, but I don't know about that. I do know the anti-cheat is probably what's taking up a lot of the CPU usage though, because it's sitting at 50% like every time, and I have a pretty high-end CPU. Okay, hold on. Launch game. I'm not gonna do anything. I just moved the camera out a little bit, and now I'm gonna quit the game. Now we'll go validate those files, shall we? Let's go validate these files. Legitimately, I am in awe that this is even happening. This is some spaghetti coding. I can't blame you. I can't blame the devs for this one, right? Well, kind of can, but ultimately, I understand that you're using a very outdated engine, and like that's an outdated engine that's not getting serviced anymore. So yeah, you have to figure everything out yourself. You can't simply. It's not as simple as just getting outsourced help to reprogram it and make sure it works and stuff, because the engine's out of service. So unless you can find a programmer that knows the engine decently well to help you program it and program the engine and optimize the game and whatnot, right? It's not going to be great. It's going to take too much time to try to train someone up, to hire them, train someone up and stuff, because you're not using an engine that everyone knows. It's you're not using Unreal 4 or 5, whatever. I don't know what engine you guys are using. What is the engine you guys are using? I'm gonna search it up right now while we're waiting for this. Game engine. What's the game engine called? BitSquid? BitSquid, Stingray, whatever. Same thing, apparently, because Autodesk acquired it and then they discontinued it in 2018. Very unfortunate. But regardless, there's no way you're gonna find highly likely you're gonna find a programmer that specifically knows Autodesk Stingray. It's not that great. Now I'm not in the game dev industry at all. I am purely a consumer, and I also just like technology. But I do know a decent amount to know that finding someone that specifically knows a language a program that is discontinued and out of service, especially in this day and age right now, not really likely. Unfortunately. Right? But I don't know. It's a very difficult issue that you devs have put yourself in. Because on the one hand, you have to keep up with the live service content and whatnot, make sure you keep play account and stuff and whatnot. But on the other hand, now you also need to make sure the game is stable and optimized so that it's still playable and stable. And it's just a very bad issue. You are very much stuck between a rock and a hard place here. I don't know if I was listening to this portion, but if I was to give my personal opinion, I think the majority of the player base, and I speak for would prefer you halt content drops and instead optimize and stabilize the game, because It's definitely not stable. I can tell you that. And the file size are definitely really big because it was smaller before. Now it's sitting out at 141 gigs. That's a lot of gigabytes, dude. That's a lot of gigabytes for this game. And secondly, do a bit of tweaking and rebalancing on some of these new enemies that you have released. Oh, there it is. 2 files. Again, look at the size. 6 kilobytes. Alright, so I'm going to end the recording there. But there's the evidence.